From fairy tale to reality, William and Kate's relationship through the years. They met like a fairy tale. A prince, a university girl, a love story watched by the world. But fairy tales don't survive reality untouched. And this one had to grow up to survive at all. What follows is not the polished version. It is the real journey. From idealized romance to hard-earned partnership. When Prince William arrived at the University of St. Andrews, he was already carrying history. He was the future king, yes, but more importantly, he was the boy who had lost his mother under the glare of global attention. He was cautious, guarded, deeply aware of what love could cost when lived publicly. Kate Middleton arrived with none of that weight. She was confident but unassuming, observant, comfortable being herself. She did not chase attention. She did not perform for status. And that difference mattered more than anyone realized at the time. Their connection did not begin with romance. It began with normality, shared classes, group dinners, late conversations about ordinary things. For William, that normality was rare. For Kate, it was instinctive. The fairy tale narrative would later focus on destiny. But the truth is simpler. William felt safe around her. And safety came before love. As their friendship deepened, the world slowly intruded. The fashion show moment became iconic. Kate stepping onto the runway. William realizing what others were beginning to see. But behind that moment was something quieter. Recognition. Not desire alone, but awareness. Still, they resisted labels. They moved carefully. Both understood the stakes, even if only William fully grasped their scale. As the relationship became public, pressure followed immediately. Kate was no longer just a student. She became a subject. Her background was questioned, her family examined, her silence interpreted. This was the first shift from fairy tale to reality. Kate learned quickly that love in this world required endurance. She could not respond to criticism. She could not defend herself. She could only remain steady. William watched this transformation with unease. He had seen how the media could consume someone he loved. And he was determined not to repeat history. This fear shaped everything that followed. Their relationship progressed slowly. Years passed without engagement. To outsiders, it looked like hesitation. To those closer, it was deliberation. William was not testing Kate's loyalty. He was testing the institution's ability to coexist with love. Kate waited, not passively, but consciously. She continued her life, built resilience, strengthened independence. That waiting would later become one of her greatest strengths as a royal. Then came the break. The separation was not dramatic. No public statements, no accusations, just distance and heartbreak. For Kate, it was devastating. For William, it was disorienting. This moment shattered the fairy tale illusion. William explored freedom. Kate retreated into dignity. She did not speak. She did not leak. She did not collapse publicly. And in that silence, she demonstrated something critical. She could survive without the crown. William noticed. The absence clarified what presence had softened. Life without Kate felt unbalanced. Louder, less grounded. And he understood something he had been avoiding. Love did not threaten his future. Avoiding commitment did. When they reunited, the relationship changed. Expectations were spoken aloud. Boundaries were established. Kate understood the sacrifices ahead. William committed to protecting her within the system he would one day lead. The engagement that followed was not a fairy tale ending. It was a contract of mutual understanding. Marriage brought its own realities. Kate entered the royal family under intense scrutiny. She was expected to adapt instantly, to perform flawlessly, to represent continuity, and to do it all without complaint. The fairy tale version would suggest effortless elegance. The reality involved exhaustion, self-doubt, learning unspoken rules while under constant observation. William's role shifted too. He was no longer just a partner. He was a buffer, a protector, someone constantly negotiating between duty and intimacy. Their early married years were defined by adjustment. Not just to each other, but to a life with no true privacy. Parenthood changed everything. With the birth of their children, priorities sharpened. William's childhood experiences became guiding warnings. He refused to let history repeat itself. He insisted on emotional presence, on boundaries, on protecting his children from unnecessary exposure. Kate supported this instinct fully. But motherhood within the monarchy came with its own strain. Balancing duty with instinct created constant tension. The fairy tale image remained intact publicly. Privately, the work intensified. Their relationship evolved again as William's responsibilities grew. The closer he moved toward kingship, the heavier the expectations became. Decision-making intensified. Pressure deepened. Emotional availability fluctuated. Kate adapted, as she always had. But adaptation has a cost. There were periods of visible seriousness. Fewer spontaneous moments. A quieter public presence. Observers speculated. But the truth was more nuanced. This was not distance. It was recalibration. William and Kate were learning how to be partners within power. How to remain emotionally connected while carrying different burdens. Kate's role expanded beyond appearances. Her focus on early childhood development reflected her understanding of unseen emotional foundations. She understood what pressure does when left unaddressed. William supported her work not as obligation, but alignment. It mirrored his own awareness of emotional legacy. Their relationship matured. The fairy tale had long dissolved by this point. In its place was something sturdier. Less glamorous. More real. They learned to communicate efficiently. To protect each other quietly. To choose family without rejecting duty. The public often mistakes quiet for coldness. But insiders describe consistency, respect, mutual reliance. William is no longer the hesitant prince. He is a man shaped by responsibility, but grounded by partnership. Kate is no longer the girl who waited. She is a woman who endured, adapted, and now influences the institution from within. Their love story did not end when the fairy tale faded. It began again in reality. A reality defined by compromise. By shared memory. By a promise not to repeat the past. They are not perfect. They are intentional. And that may be the strongest love story the monarchy has seen in generations. Because fairy tales inspire. But reality endures.